So who are the greatest cruiserweights in the world? Well, Joe Opetaia probably has a good shout. You know, he beat Bradis. Probably the closest anyone's come to beating him, at least on the scorecards. And Chris Smith is a world champion who beat Okoli. And there were two other world champions who I haven't actually heard of. I think there was a Mexican guy who had lost to Bivol. There was a Mexican guy who lost to Bradis. I think Opetaia is very good. Obviously, his win over Bradis was it's a phenomenal fight, a really good win. You know, Bradis is a tough fighter. It goes without saying if you're challenging Usyk. Obviously, he wasn't at this stage of his career, he hasn't now, but broke Opetaia's jaw. And I think he had a broken nose, but he kept going, so credit to the man. And obviously, I guess the newer champions, you've got Chris Smith, obviously beat Okoli, first guy to knock him down, first guy to beat him. And credit to Chris Smith, he's always in exciting fights. You know, Okoli had been in quite a few snooze fests, but you know, Smith knocked him down, and he made the fight a bit exciting. And although Okoli was still clinching a lot, he managed to make the fight exciting, so credit to him. And huge credit to Chris Smith. He wants to smoke. He likes hard fights. He takes hard fights. He fought Masternak, a guy who went 12 rounds with Tony Bellew, and he got him out of there. Look, he took a bit of damage in the process. Maybe didn't look great from a boxing IQ point, but look, he broke his ribs and got him out of there. Credit to the man. You know, who cares if he didn't outbox him? He got him out of there. That's what you're supposed to do. Broke his ribs. So, you know, hits hard. And he will soon be fighting Richard Riakporhe, who the guys from TalkSport think Riakporhe is gonna knock him out. What do I think? I don't know. I think it's a hard one because obviously you take a lot of damage that can put wear and tear on your body. You're gonna have a lot of build up. You know, like a car, you're gonna have extra mileage. But that experience from being in the ring means a lot. And personally, I think I favour Chris Smith because I think when shit hits the fan, when things get tough, he's gonna know how to bite down his gumption more. He's gonna know how to dig in more. I think he'll be more ready for Riakporhe. I think Riakporhe is slightly underestimating Smith. He's beaten him before, but it was a close split decision when he beat him. And I think the improvements he's made are going to shock Riakporhe. So for me, I do favour Smith to get the win. I think Smith is underrated, and I think he'll have too much for Riakporhe, who I think is underestimating him slightly. But Riakporhe, he has looked very good, to be fair to him. But personally, I favour Smith. And obviously Chamberlain is fighting Cieslak on the card for the European. I don't know much about Cieslak. I think off the top of my head he's lost to Okoli. So I'm hoping that'll be a good fight, but I'll have to do a bit more research into Cieslak to see what he's saying. And obviously Opetaia Bradis rematch should be very exciting. Bradis reminds me a bit of Derevyanchenko, kind of. I think maybe because he's Eastern European, you know, he's not from the United States or England. People kind of overlook him, but you know, real tough fighter. Gave Opetaia a good run for his money. And although Opetaia looked very good in his last two fights, you have to keep in mind these guys were nowhere near on his level. You know, what was it, Zorro and Thompson? Great knockouts, obviously, and he looked ferocious. And he deserves credit, obviously, for knocking them out and being ferocious. But you just got to keep in mind, you know, these guys aren't on his level. So I think if I had to rate them, I'd go Opetaia, Bradis, Smith, Riakporhe. Obviously, Usyk will be at the top, but he's no longer a cruiserweight, so you can't count him in. What about up-and-coming cruiserweights? Well, for me, I think the most exciting prospect, at least from England, I think is Vidal Riley. He's yet to have a real test. He's been hurt a few times, and the only times he's actually been hurt was against Taj and Nice, and that was like 3 opponents ago. So real credit to, you know, Taj, although he lost twice to Riley. He really put it on Riley, and I think the 2 fights with him were very important for his development as a fighter. You know, when Riley went through, he analysed the fights. He did say, you know, he admitted that Taj hurt him a few times. He got him. So I think that's the last time Riley's been kind of tested, had someone put it on him, as to say. Koalas, he kind of outboxed with ease, same with Lawal really. Again, with Lawal, although people say it was boring, and maybe for the fans at some point, you try and put it on him just to give a bit of entertainment value. From a boxing purist point of view, he was very good, you know, kept moving, kept on the outside. He hit and did not get hit. So hopefully we see him against Chamberlain soon. But I think his next fight will be Chev Clark, who again, probably quite on a similar level to Riley, you know, looking good, hasn't really had a proper test yet. So I think it's looking like Chev Clark and Vidal Riley will be fighting for the English. No, will be fighting for the British. Now Chamberlain has vacated. So yeah, there's just a little video on what is the cruiserweight scene like at the moment. Who were the best fighters? Obviously there were those 2 world champions I haven't really heard of. I don't know if that's just me personally being a little bit uninformed about them, or maybe just the media not covering them as much, but I haven't heard of them personally. Obviously for me, the ones I've heard of, Opetaia, Bradis, Smith, Riakporhe. I guess that's from like a British point of view. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm excited for the Smith Riakporhe fight personally. What about you? Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.